So I'm Sanjeev Shah, the founder of Car Club Kenya. Formerly, I was the founding director of RMA, Jaguar Land Rover. I've been in this industry for 37 years. I've actually always and forever, around the world, been involved with luxury brands, premium brands, Jaguars, Land Rovers, Bentleys, in no particular order. What you see here is a technical center for the luxury brands, including other brands, but we focus on luxury brands. We feel there's a gap in the marketplace for reliable, professional after-sales services. That's what we offer here with an international team. So this center here is actually a service center offering parts, paint, body, specialist works, highly advanced diagnostics. It's more like a surgical center for vehicles as opposed to a medical center for your everyday cars. Car Club is basically a brand, a club of brands, vehicle brands, and our clients we refer to as members. They're very much part of this business model, not just as clients, they're very much involved. Their involvement may be greater or lesser depending on their particular needs and their particular requirements. So this business model is focused around catering for the needs, the technical needs. This particular facility is a technical needs for luxury brands. And luxury brands are extremely complex and they're extremely difficult to fix. And without backing, international backing, and when I say backing, I mean technical backing. There are things that we see, there are things that we try and understand, but we always like verification. We like somebody else to tell us, some other team to tell us that we're on the right track, we should do this, we should do that. So we never ever just rely on our diagnosis, we have a backup. So we have an international technical backup, we have an international team, we have a Kenyan infrastructure, and we're based in Kenya. What do? We look after, technically, luxury cars. That's what we do. Everybody's selling cars in Kenya and the region. There's a car sales center everywhere you look in Nairobi these days. And as Kenyans are getting the taste for luxury cars and they're buying more and more luxury cars, what they're finding is you get all the luxury cars out on the roads and nobody to support them. You've got franchise dealers, but the franchise dealers are restricted. For example, there isn't a Porsche dealer anymore. There isn't a Bentley dealer. There isn't an Audi dealer. There is a Jaguar Land Rover dealer. There's a BMW dealer. There's a Mercedes dealer. So you've got some franchise operations, but you don't have widespread franchised operations and approved operations. We're open to all. We don't discriminate. What we always say is that we are probably better for you in the luxury segment because of our cost basis. I won't hide the fact that we're not the cheapest. We don't aim to be the cheapest. What we want to do is provide value, and value is dictated by what do we provide and is it fixed? And is it fixed right the first time? So we don't discriminate in any way with any brand, but what we also like is we like our clients, which are our members, to be passionate about their cars. So if you've got a car which is not strictly a luxury car, but you're passionate about it, and you have aspirations of getting it fixed or restored, that's the other side of our business, is restoration. So we have cars from the 70s, 60s, 50s, which have come in for restoration work, and 80s and beyond, of course. So long as you're passionate, and so long as you're willing to engage with us as a business on a technical basis about your motor car and your needs, we'll do our best to understand your needs and fix your problems. We have 3 words which define what Car Club Kenya does: buy, service, restore. And I've been talking about the servicing side or the maintenance side. I've touched on the restoration side. We do offer a buy service, meaning that it's very much concierge type service. the buyers of luxury cars and the passionate buyers of even non-luxury cars, you'll find that the potential buyer is better informed than a lot of the retailers or the vendors. They know what those cars do. They know what color they want. They know what interior they want. They know what specs they want. Once they buy the car, who's going to look after it? Am I going to have headaches? So we're offering service packages for people who purchase cars from us. We have transacted in Uganda. We've transacted in Tanzania. Of course, our home is in Kenya. Regionally, this is by far and large the largest market for luxury brands in this region. There are cars you can't restore. I mean, it's limited by the availability of spare parts. It's limited by the availability of primary components, not even secondary components. And what do I mean by that? I mentioned body parts, but gear train, engine, gearbox, you could put in a different engine. Instead of a Mini Morris engine, you can put in a Datsun engine. But that is not really what we do here. What we try and focus on is authentic restoration. So there are plenty of reasons why we can't restore a car to its former glory, but there are also good enough reasons why we can adapt and still be authentic and provide a build which, for example, the Mini, when we walk around, we've got a finished product which started its life a year ago. We've got a product which started its life about 2 months ago. Different brands, different reasons for the owners to restore these cars. So yes, there are plenty of cars we can't restore. It's easier for me to go and pick candidates that have got 10, 15 years of experience with that particular brand of vehicle. So you have a Porsche, naturally, I will be looking for the most highly qualified Porsche technician. Of course, his pay scale or her pay scale goes with it. This is where the costs are high for us as a business. But we know that their training is current, it's up to date, it's backed by the manufacturer. It most probably went through a manufacturer's educational makeup, whatever it was, whether it was in a dealership, it was in an academy, it was in a polytechnic. So what we are doing is we're using an international team based here with Kenyans shadowing what they're doing. So we can pick good, young Kenyan talent, so long as they've got the passion. So as long as the talent's got passion and they've got talent, they need to have a certain basic sympathy and empathy for the engagement that they're going to be doing. They can see, watch, learn. Most of our services, most of our operations are very much technically based. It's not nyundos and hammers knocking away, okay? For example, any welding or fabrication activity is relatively quiet. Painting activity is relatively quiet. The diagnostic activity is very quiet because it's online. And unless the person's singing to themselves or they've got music in the background, it's quiet. And the most important thing is, you know, we've invested a lot of money in an exhaust extraction system. It doesn't smell like a workshop. It's not really a workshop or a garage, it's more like a factory environment, more like a laboratory environment. So membership is free. Anybody can be a member, so long as you are interested and passionate about your motor car. How do you become a member? It's easy. www.carclubkenya.com, log on, and you'll go through the fields, go through the website, and you come to member. There's a login. Your name, your email ID, your phone number, WhatsApp number, your vehicle details. We're interested. When we data capture, we're data capturing the details of your car. Why? Because that's the subject of interest between you as the owner and us as the potential after-sales center for you. The benefits of being a member is we're transparent in our pricing. We're not the cheapest, as I say, but it's transparent. These are your spare parts cost. These are genuine parts. The labor cost is all broken down. The time we take is all broken down. Electric vehicles, EVs, they are a whole new ball game. There are electric vehicles in Kenya. Yes, there are advantages to the environment, so on and so forth. But the technology behind that and the technology required is actually a very complex matter. First of all, they're running on lithium-ion batteries. They're highly inflammable. You need to have an area which has the ability, it can be isolated, the vehicle can be drenched. The temperatures that if an electric vehicle caught fire are massively high, massively high. So no, we don't look after electric vehicles. So we've been open 16 months, 1/6. It's been a challenge. It's never enough in a business. Whatever you address, if you tick a box on one side, you've left another box open. So it's never easy, and never will be easy, and that's just life. We have a presidential car here. It was part of the presidential fleet. We also have one of the original cars that belong to one of our late presidents. And we're humbled and honored to have been entrusted to restore the classic car. It's a 1967 Mercedes-Benz. And that's going to be a full restoration of the car. It's at the very beginning of its journey. We're still evaluating all the elements required for the classic car to come back to its former glory. The other vehicle is an armored vehicle. It's more routine, but there's nothing routine in an armored vehicle, zero. They're specialist components and they're procedures which have to be followed.
Bima Leo is a unique way of purchasing insurance in this market here in Kenya. Generally what people do is they buy insurance for the year. You have third party and then you have comprehensive insurance for your motor vehicles, private, commercial, and agriculture as well. What we've done is we've created on-demand personalized insurance. So you can buy insurance for the day or you can buy it per kilometer you use of the vehicle. So there are many people who actually own many cars. They don't use them all the time. And if we classify those sort of target markets as the person who is a weekend warrior, hardly use a vehicle. Our portfolio starts with pay as you use, which is you can buy insurance for the day or the days you want to use your vehicle. It's very simple. You go online at bimaleo.com, choose which kind of policies you want to buy, and then from there you get an instant quote and you purchase immediately. We do it for private vehicles, we do it for commercial vehicles. So commercial vehicles is slightly different. What we offer is basically, if you're a fleet owner, we look at how well you use your fleet is being used and then adjust premiums accordingly. And this is something which we can actually work with fleet owners so that they then get savings rather than paying just outright comprehensive premiums for the year. We look at adjustments depending on how the vehicle's used. We also do for tractors. If you're a farmer, you have a tractor and you want to rent the tractor to another farmer, then you can buy the insurance policy for the days that tractor is in use.
Everything for CCK all is imported. We've got diagnostic machines like top-notch, very high, expensive, and really good. They do their jobs. We've got technicians' toolboxes also imported. Nothing here is basically locally. And yeah, I can just say we're fully equipped for everything. The first process is when customers walk in, we take photos. We've got a checklist, it's called EVHC, it's an electrical vehicle health check. So any car that comes into CCK, basically photos are taken. A list is normally filled, example, hydraulic jacks, spanners, everything is taken, documented. Once everything is taken, car goes to the technicians. There's a job card which is handed over to our techs, such as Jim Lee or Ronald. They do the diagnostic, the write-up is done. Once it's finished, it goes to Pratik. Pratik is in charge of parts, okay? So he normally sources and everything. Once from there, we seek authorization from the customer. After the customer gives us the authorization, it goes to Thomas Abanda. He's in charge of imports and logistics. Yes. The Mini took us 1 year to restore. Reason being is it was not the mechanical side, it was just basically the part sourcing. It's an old vehicle, not all the parts are in stock. And as you can see, the Mini right now, it's fully built, it's beautiful. And everything is genuine on that car. So we had to source parts. Most of those parts came from Italy, some came from different places. Cars which mostly are very hard to restore. Basically, there's some cars which get into such a bad accident, like a bad state, like you'll have a twisted chassis, something like that. Those ones are normally the hardest to restore.
Hi, I'm Ronald. I'm a Master Tech of BMW, and I'm working for the Mercedes now. The problem is vibrating in the passenger door side. Then now we are looking, now we remove the door panel, checking, diagnose where is the vibrate. And now we know it's a door window mechanism. I'm 13 years, more than 13 years working as a technician. Then I'm from Philippines. I am an expertise of Toyota, Nissan, BMW, multi-brand. Yeah. I start to work here because of a big salary. Then I want to challenge myself, explore Philippines and Kenya. The market is the same.
Parts is basically any part that is individual in a car. That's tire, rim, oil filter, cable, normal service filters, that's a part. So any part that is there is sourced from a guy who knows knowledge about the car. That is deep knowledge inside how each part connects to each other, how they function together, how it makes it into a whole car as we know it. So that is what a part designer does, is basically source each part from the technician's report. A report is given from the technician saying these parts are needed for this issue in this car. According to that, a catalog is gone through. The chassis number is used to calculate everything out, used to know the numbers of the parts, because parts are designated by part numbers. Those part numbers help us to source that part. So that is basically what I do. I get a report from the technician, go through the parts, build up a parts list, and from there I source, price, and quote. It becomes difficult when now the car starts having issues that normally it wouldn't have. For example, when there's oil leaks, engine leaks, transmission leaks, when the engine knocks down, when there's an issue with the engine, pistons cracking, all that kind of stuff. So that's when it gets difficult. For the luxury cars, this is where now it becomes a bit difficult how to deduce. You see, a car is basically like, you take it a step-by-step process. If the car is bringing this kind of an issue, we need to know the several stages before that we need to remove them so that we know where we're coming to the main problem. For body parts, it becomes really difficult because some of the cars are hard to get. Like, the manufacturer does not make it personally for you. You have to make sure that those parts are either available in the shelf or you wait for the part to be made by the manufacturer and then it's being put in the car. So body parts is a bit difficult. Mechanical parts, it's not that difficult, but it depends on the issue, as I said. And for other normal service filters, those are generally produced by the manufacturers, so that's not difficult to make. It is generally easy to differentiate the counterfeit part because, one, the supplier will guide you accordingly. That's where the supplier comes in. He's supposed to guide you and tell you about the part itself, where it's made from, when it's manufactured, and who is supplying it from. Thirdly, there's usually stickers. They're usually stickers from the supplier themselves that mark that the part is genuine. It's generally from the manufacturer themselves, because there's universal parts and then there's genuine parts. Universal parts are parts that generally go into, they can fit in several types of car on the same regarding the model. And genuine parts is like for a specific, like let's say if I wanted to fit a genuine Porsche part, the manufacturer, the stock item will be Porsche. There'll be a sticker for the Porsche, or there's an authorized dealer that has said that this is a genuine Porsche part. This is what we call is a belt tensioner. This is an aftermarket part. This is, you see, when it's wrapped, when it comes as a packaging, there's usually a sticker on this side. As you can see, there's no sticker on this. Yeah, it's completely aftermarket, so you cannot know whether, you cannot tell this is a genuine part. It's not considered as a genuine part because there's no supplier mark or any approved sticker from the manufacturer itself. This is for a BMW. And this one is for a Land Rover. As you can see, packaged well, it's wrapped. This is a stabilizer link. And also it has the part number indicated and also the scanner code from the manufacturer themselves and a sticker. Jaguar Land Rover, make sure there's a sticker on each part that is a genuine part from them. That is how you differentiate from counterfeits and aftermarket parts and genuine, yeah. Restoration is it's a big process. We start by getting the model of the car, the client. We talk to the client. The model of the car, details, basic details, that is model of the year, the brand, the manufacturer, chassis number, what else? The report generally for what the car has gone through. Just get details as much as we can, because restoration classic cars, you must gather as much information as you need, because that information is what helps you in sourcing parts, giving time frame, and also explanations in detail to the client on what we do, how we do it, and what we need to present to him at the end. As the car comes in, we also ask the client how far the restoration has to go, because as you can see, restoration is it can be time consuming, also can be a bit expensive on the higher end, and also that we need to explain. So we need to understand the client, what he wants from us and what we need to present to him. Then now we'll go to evaluation. Now in the evaluation, the technician will go through the report, give a deduced report, fully details on mechanical, body, interior and upholstery and electrics. So that's where we start from. Get the costings, we see how the condition of the body is, make a conclusion for that. Conditions for the mechanical bits, that is braking system, suspension, engine, transmission, everything that is to do with mechanicals, give a conclusion for it. Then we move to body. If there's any rustings, if there's any damage, if there's any body panels that need to be replaced, windows, chrome bits, strips, anything, tail lights, headlights, badges, everything that is to deal with the exterior looks of the car. Then we move to the interior, that is the seats, upholstery, headlining, materials, gauges, everything that you see inside the car while you're seated. Then finally, we give a whole conclusion for all of that you had reduced. Then we present it to us. Now the quotation from the report from the technician comes to us. That is to me, my parts, and also for restoration as someone else, we also do. So from there, now we start sourcing parts. We categorize in body, mechanical, as I said, mentioned, categorize everything. Then we start sourcing everything for that category in that car. So for parts, mechanical parts, if there's body parts that need to be sourced, we need to source for that as well. Upholstery, interior. That one now deals with a lot with the client as well. With restoration, there's constant feedback and constant back and forth with the client, because at the end of the day, we have to make sure that his needs are met. As I said, we need to come with the client, explain to see what he wants and what we need to provide. Then finally, after that, we are given a full quotation that is to do with parts, bodywork, interior upholstery, timeline, and conclusion at this for approval. And that's how the parts restoration process is dealt with.